I've already seen people just, yeah, they look at all the raunchy humor here, and granted, they are pushing it, but people acting like they're above that.
I know.
I'm above these filthy puppets here.
Now, excuse me while I go watch Jackass 4.
Go to doubletoasted.com, become a subscriber, and support what we do here. We can't do that without you because we do get by. Now, YouTube is great, and a few other places are great, but really it's you guys, the Toasties, that help us keep going. Yeah. So subscribe today, even if it's just to put that out there for somebody else. Maybe you hate us.
So the price of a cup of coffee.
Yeah. And remember that when you do decide to subscribe, if you do, you can do so many ways, and you can do so. One of the ways you can do it, Amazon account. We got an Amazon Pay button for you. Put your username, your password in there. Press enter. Ooh, look at her. She feel that toasted goodness right now. Yeah. I think you're a great actress, actually. I can't hide it from you any longer. I have a thing for puppets. I love puppets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. And that look you giving me, it's well deserved. It's like that.
Does. We got in a fight about it one time.
Really?
Yeah, we sure did. He laughed at me about the puppet museum I went to, and I stopped that. Oh, you are, man, you are his daughter. She was laughing. He was laughing at me just like that. Man, y'all are just the same. Both y'all are some assholes. Tell you that right now. Look at her. I didn't even get that far before she started laughing. I just said puppy museum. I know that's your dad. I don't care the hell with you. Fuck you, Gwen. I feel like I told him. She can't even hold her breath right now. You too old for this shit. I've been looking forward to this movie for years, the Happy Time Murders. I think they were working on this movie when you were just a wee child there, Gwenny. Because, Martin, if you remember, I think they've been working on this since 2007. Now,
really?
Yeah, this script was going around for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember when the concept art was out there over a decade ago, or about a decade ago. And I thought that this would be a really cool topic. It's pretty much Roger Rabbit with puppets.
Right. That concept art looks familiar. Like, I feel like you showed that to me.
I did when we talked about the trailer.
Yeah.
And then years ago I talked about it because some people said before this movie got greenlit, we got some questions before. They say, are there any movies out there that are in development hell and never going to get made you wish would actually get made?
Right.
And Happy Time Murders right there was one of them. And it's been around so long that they actually had gone through so many people that they said were going to be in it. They mentioned anywhere from Jamie Foxx to Cameron Diaz. Damn, Cameron Diaz looking like a puppet right now.
Come on.
I'm just saying, man. You know what I'm talking about. Thank you. We agree on something here. She look high as hell. Sniffing that cotton. But even Jamie Foxx like, damn, girl, you. But yeah, there's been a lot of names that have been tossed around. And Jim Henson's son was somebody who said that, I'm going to pass on this.
Did he?
Being a master of puppets myself.
Sure.
Brian Henson.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, I am not going to besmirch my father's memory.
His legacy. His
legacy by you having these nasty ass puppets up in here, because it went further than Roger Rabbit. They went to the R-rated level.
Sure.
With this. So, being that I love puppets so much, will I come in here and be biased as in I love it this much and I can't give it a bad review? Or have I been looking forward to this so much that it's a disappointment?
Do you respect the legacy so much that you feel that this takes a big dump on it?
You were right, Martin. Maybe I think they are shitting on Jim Henson's body right now.
I mean, if you got mad when I laughed at you for going to the puppet museum, what are you going to do when they have puppets having sex?
I might lose my mind right now. And is there a possibility that I can just be fair? Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for the Happy Time Murders. Now, girl, you might want to cover your ears.
I've seen it.
Now, why you letting
I've
this?
seen the trailer
why you
like 5
letting this
times.
girl watch this nasty shit right here?
She's in the studio.
She's in the studio. I'm different. You know, there's no help for me.
When they showed 8th grade, they showed the trailer.
Oh, girl.
What?
Yeah.
You were just as corrupt as these puppets right here. I thought you were pure. Let's go ahead and watch these nasty puppets up here in this trailer for Happy Time Murders. And Martin and myself will be back with our review.
He's servicing a client. Is that what I think?
Oh, Lord, girl. I didn't want you to see that right there. Why are you letting this girl be exposed to this? That was nothing right there. That was whipped cream.
It looked like silly string.
Yeah. Now, here's this whole deal with nasty puppets. A lot of people, because they coming in with the Happy Time Murders like, oh, y'all ain't never seen nothing like this.
Which is not at all true.
It's not true. Even Sesame Street, we said, we're going to sue you, you so nasty.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. They tried to sue. They tried to sue them because the tagline for this was all street, no sesame.
Right.
And they said, well, you bring Sesame Street in with this nasty shit right here. And they took it to a judge, and the judge, get this bullshit.
Exactly.
Come on now. Y'all
Are you kidding me with this?
Yeah, they ain't doing nothing to your street, all right?
Y'all are barely on the TV still.
Yeah. You on HBO now. Just a matter of time before the Muppets on there start fucking.
Yeah, there's nothing but titties on HBO.
Yeah, exactly. So, listen, way before this puppet right here was shooting silly string everywhere, all on the walls, we had full puppet porn. Now, back in the day, I remember this, and Cargill even gave me this as a birthday gift. This because he knew how much I love puppets up to a disturbing level. There's this movie called Let My Puppets Come. Well, they said one of the most innovative sex comedies ever. Oh, right. Yeah, they say he's the only one with puppets in it ever. Okay, that's kind of by default. But the thing with Happy Time Murders, they think that they getting raunchy. They think they getting sexy. Oh, we almost X-rated with it. Almost. This movie was full X-rated. They with this right here, they showed you full on puppet penis and vagina. Because who doesn't like that? I do. I'll take it any way I can get it, Martin. Even if it's from a puppet. But this right here, they showed everything.
I'm so horny. Help me, please.
Oh, you poor sick thing. Well, Nurse McPringle never shrinks from a challenge.
Girl, get off your phone. Quit looking up this movie. I'll see you over there. She said, let my puppets come. Yeah, they showed everything.
I love that music they got going.
Yeah, they got the authentic porn music. How'd that go? Is that how you dance to porn music? And let's not forget Meet the Feebles.
Oh, you can't forget that.
Now, while Meet the Feebles was not X-rated, it was so shocking.
And raunchy.
It was almost a horror movie.
It might as well have been R. X.
This is a family show, for Christ's sake.
Yet from the man that brought you Lord of the Rings. Before that, we had the epic tale of puppets killing, fucking, and everything in between. It was
PTSD.
PTSD. Yeah, they had a puppet that
STDs.
was PTSD, STD, STP. They had one puppet in Vietnam. Yeah, you coming up here talking, and even Jim Henson, even the pure innocent, the man of the children, Jim Henson. Even now, right before the Muppet Show came on, even Jim Henson wanted to do a more adult version of the Muppet Show. He didn't do the kids version until they made him. Oh, he did a show back in the day that actually, just so you didn't mistake it for some children's stuff, it actually had sex and violence in the title.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the end of sex and violence on television.
Had a crackhead on it. Well, look at him. He lost his shit. Kind of like you, Gwen, when I told you about the puppy museum. What? You did what?
On purpose?
You actually went to that shit? What? I ought to blow your ass up. Now, after you've seen all that, they come in trying to be shocking. As we see, there's really nothing shocking for people of a certain age, especially for the people that sometimes this is geared towards. Like Meet the Feebles is a cult classic now.
Right.
A lot of people have seen that. But I will say that this movie here, while it's not shocking, and while it doesn't do anything really new, maybe to some people, but not to me, not to you either.
No.
But while it doesn't do anything new, it does do some cool things. You know, some of the concept art that came out for this movie, one of the things that I was looking forward to, I was like, man, I get to see puppets use their legs. I ain't never seen puppets use like show their legs.
Right. Just show them walking amongst humans.
Walking amongst him. Like I've seen puppets with legs before, but I ain't never seen them use it this much.
I ain't never seen an elephant fly.
I ain't never seen a puppet walk. And you can see and it's very tiny, but on the right here, there's the concept art for puppets walking amongst human beings in the urban areas. And here's on the left side where you see puppets actually walking. I was thinking, man, wow, you know something? While that is nothing new, it actually is kind of cool to see these puppets out there, mixing in with real backgrounds. Mixing in with other human beings. Yeah. He gonna go home and have sex with that woman. I'm gonna fuck the shit out this girl. To see puppets out there blending in with the environments. That kind of lived up to what I thought that they could do with this movie. They do really make this world come alive. This world with Muppets blending in with humans, they really do make an attempt at making it come alive. Seems like it is populated with actual puppets living side by side with flesh and blood human beings. And I gotta tell you, man, some of those Martin and I, we were laughing because some of those puppets look. So they just the way they look just made me laugh. You remember that one puppet that like some of these puppets just look crazy. Yeah. You remember that puppet came with them big old buck dials? He's like, what are you? Yeah. What are you? And the funny thing, what's so crazy about it? Because their eyes are big and they don't blink, so they just keep doing this. Where we going? And Martin and I, because sometimes your dad and I, we just are in sync with each other. We
just vibe that way. And just seeing a puppet that's designed to look like an actual cartoon character, but semi-human, it's just so funny. I don't know if you have any clips of them, but just some of them, you just look at them. And I'm like, wow, I dig that right there.
Yeah, man. Like some of these, really, some of these puppets in here, like this crackhead puppet they got here. That's not even. That one looks crazy. That's
no, he's obviously looks crazy.
Yes.
It's the ones that are kind of subtle where at first they look like they're all right, but then you're like, man. It's like if they were a human, it'd be somebody who got their head smashed in with a shovel at some point, but managed to live and just keep on going.
Or like somebody got kicked in the back of the head and their eyes just popped out, because they had one puppet pop into a scene that he was not a major character. No. He was not anybody. He was not anybody important. It was just somebody that just walked into the scene and he was just in the background. They gonna know me. I'm gonna soak in as much time as I can get. It might seem cheap, but puppets cursing sometimes is just hilarious.
Sometimes it is.
It's hilarious, man. They got puppets that just be cursing, and the funny thing about it is that because it'll just be again. Puppets, just not main characters, just hanging out in the background. One girl came into the room and she was shining a flashlight, and this puppet said, "You better get that fucking light out of my face." It's like just sitting in a nasty ass house. I'm like, hearing puppets say "fuck" sometimes is actually funny if they do it right. Yeah, and and the other thing is that it is funny. It's funny seeing puppets die. And they played up for I
felt bad for the blue one.
No, I see you talking. You looking at me like you a heartless bastard.
No, you say that now, and I mean they know what they're doing because you do feel bad on a certain level, but the funny part sort of overrides it.
No, it's hilarious. You like for a man that love puppets, you an asshole. but no, they're like this. Like when they get shot and you see all that cotton fly everywhere. And the funny thing is, you see when those little bodies just go limp, them little rubber hose arms just go. Now, Mark, how'd you feel about this? I actually thought that they got some really great performances out of the main puppets. So you have your main detective puppet, Phil.
Yeah.
And Phil is performed by this guy, Bill Beretta. And Bill Beretta actually voices it well, but the puppeteers they actually worked the characters pretty well too.
Yeah, I thought it was a perfect synthesis, especially his voice work, because he really had that ex-cop down in his luck private eye from New York transplanted in LA thing going.
Yeah, and yet he really did. He really did. And he's been a puppeteer for, I think he's a puppeteer for Henson Studios.
Okay.
I think he played a big role in Dinosaurs and some other
Oh,
things.
okay.
And you know what? Melissa McCarthy, I thought she was good because Melissa McCarthy was not playing that bumbling, dumbass, over-exaggerated character. Not one time in this movie did she get thrown into a wall at all, like she always does in her films. You know, now she got thrown on the floor, but it wasn't like some comedic gag.
No,
she was in a fight.
Yeah, it was a fight.
She was getting her ass beat.
Yeah, it was actually a well-choreographed fight. Yeah, she doesn't do pratfalls. There's not a whole lot of ad-libbing. And where there is some, it's the thing with Miss Melissa McCarthy. She can ad lib. It's just you got to pull her back or know how to edit, and you got to edit way down.
Yeah, you know the thing with her is that I believe since she was acting with puppets, that all this had to be scripted.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah, and see that's what I'm talking about. It's a damn shame that it took these puppets to make her feel more human. Because in every movie, she is practically a puppet or a cartoon character.
Yeah,
the way she's getting tossed about.
Because she's in a movie where there's nobody stepping up. It's pretty much all on her. She has to fill the room and keep coming up with new content.
Yep.
Here, everybody's playing a part.
Yeah, you know it's with her in this movie right here, with her pulled back a little bit and actually having to do lines, do written lines. You know, it's something that really made her more of a likable character. I think, I mean, look, it ain't much because this character is not, it's not a deep character at all.
No.
None of these things. I mean, this whole thing is a parody of film noir detectives.
Yeah.
Detective movies and series.
It's basic to the point of being a parody.
Yeah, it is a parody, which means that they take it straight to parody. Now, the difference between parody and satire is making a statement right here. This is a parody. They are not trying to get deep with it. They are just doing, taking types and they're remaining types.
Yeah, although it does have a statement a little bit.
No, it does, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit.
Because metaphorically,
yeah,
what it represents.
Yeah, it's because what they do here is that they're doing a whole thing about racism. These puppets are second-class citizens. So throughout the whole movie, there's this allegory for how these puppets are treated like that. These puppets, and they say how they just, and I do like the way they did it. They're like, these puppets just got their rights because puppets, they were almost like slaves themselves, but slaves to children's television shows. Right. That Plantation was that children's show. And they
dance for me, puppet. I'll dance for you, boss.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that anymore.
These were some stepping fetching ass puppets they had up in here. It's almost like they got their asses whipped to sing and dance instead of pick cotton. Or they did pick cotton and stuff it up in their ass and fill their bodies up with it. Oh, you later, huh?
I know there's a lot of people who've seen the trailer and been like, oh, God, this is going to be gross out. It's actually not all that gross. I mean, they do their raunchy things, but after a while, it takes a backseat.
Yeah. No, it's not as nasty as the trailer's trying to push it. It is nasty, but it's not as nasty they're trying to push it. And also, when I talk about puppet deaths, they actually are very imaginative with the way they kill these puppets. And it's clever. Like I'm not going to tell you any of them, but they have one where this one puppet dies. And it's almost gruesome for a puppet, but the way they did it is it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, that said, I have to say that while there are some clever things here, it's more frustrating. Oh, Corey. Oh, you got to nitpick on these puppets, man. No, listen to me. You love it so much, I knew you had to come in and
settle down. Let him finish.
Well, y'all sit down.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish, but just shut up. Let me just say my piece. Because listen, I'm not saying this because I'm nitpicking about puppets, these puppets in this movie, or because I had high expectations. I'm saying this because the movie did have me laughing so hard in some scattered parts that showed a lot of potential. I think that the potential that this movie had did not shine through because this movie is so intent on really pushing this gimmick of puppets doing adult humor and being nasty. And these puppets saying nasty things up in here. The reason why I feel this way is because I look at this and I say, man, you know what? They were so, and I should have known something was wrong when they sent me nothing but like nasty clips. I told you earlier today, like every clip that I see here was nothing but all the raunchy humor, all the nasty humor. They never tried to give me any kind of story or anything with this.
Gotcha.
And it was apparent with some scenes because they would say they would actually start with something funny and maybe a little borderline shocking, but it was kind of like, man, they just kept going. They had a nasty joke, and they were so proud of that dirty shit that they was talking that they just couldn't stop.
Oh, for 50 cents, I'll suck your dick.
Let me go for my gun?
No. Unless you're talking about your penis.
We get it.
Yeah.
A puppet wants to suck a dick. We got, we got. I'm sorry you had to hear that, but that's what that was. It's like the joke was already kind of done, and they just kept driving it and driving it. It's almost like no one was laughing, but then you gonna laugh if I keep going.
Well, I always wonder if the case with movies like this, when they have scenes like that, is it that when they do it there, the cast and the crew laugh, so they think, oh, this is good. We're on a roll. Let's keep this going.
Yeah, and you know what? You can kind of see that because there are some outtakes in the movie, and I got to tell you, man, the outtakes not only are they funny, but the reason why they're funny is because you do see them ad-libbing in a way, and they're not ad-libbing for the movie. It's just kind of like
they're just playing around.
They're just yeah. And it's interesting to see how they work the puppets because you get to see how the green screen is worked. You get to see how the legs work here.
Yeah.
You get to see how they get so into character that they do start improvising when the camera's not rolling anymore, or when they mess up, they start improvising.
Right.
And you could, I mean, because it's funny, like some of the cast will start laughing, and they don't know they're still doing the puppet. Like the puppet be like. People like, you still working that puppet, right? Shut up.
No, I'm not.
We are one. They're not trying to do something new here. Even with the theme of having these puppets having to deal with their version of racism.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, man, they ain't doing anything that rabbit ain't done and them sausages ain't done already. In Roger Rabbit, they did cover the themes of cartoons being second-class citizens.
Right.
But what they did is that they made a story about it. They put the story first. And then and see what I love about something like Roger Rabbit, they start out with a story and they use, now it's not a rated R movie, but they use adult humor in there, but they use it to spice up their story.
Sure.
Just to give these characters enough character to let you know where they're from. They don't do it because it's the front and center of their humor.
For crying out loud, Roger! How the hell many times do we have to do this damn scene? Raoul, I'll be in my trailer, taking a nap. Excuse me, cunt.
Boy, that baby ain't gonna ever work again.
He wouldn't now.
Yeah, that's baby Harvey Weinstein right there.
I mean, back in the 50s, you could get away with that kind of thing.
Yeah. He stuck his finger all up that girl's dress. You see that? Weinstein Jr. But, man,
Yeah, and that baby grew up to be Harvey Weinstein. And that is the rest of the story.
Yeah. What they did was with Roger Rabbit is that this felt more like a real world because they were telling an actual story. They didn't rely on the gimmick of, oh, look, it's cartoons hanging out with humans. It created a full world that kind of felt real. Where when you watch this movie, it's like, all right, this is a cool effect that's going on. And while it does feel inhabited, it's something that wears off after a while because, it doesn't seem like the story is all that deep and the world is not giving me anybody to really care about. It's a cool scene. I'm laughing, but I don't really care about anybody in this movie. Maybe a little bit, but I'll get in that in a little while. And even with something like Sausage Party, man, I'm as nasty as those sausages were, as nasty as the rest of their food was, and they were nasty. Believe me, I was disgusted I was disgusted by this movie. Whenever I go into a grocery store, I'm just holding food. You ought to be a goddamn shame of yourself.
You walk in by the produce. I know y'all are having orgies.
Yeah.
I ain't stupid.
Yeah, man, it was it was nasty, but I would tell you this with the movie, as nasty as it was, it felt like maybe they were like putting the emphasis on the cursing and the violence. in the sex humor, but they weren't. The whole time this movie was telling a parable. It had something to say.
Sure.
It was this was actually really great satire. I mean, look, even if you don't love the movie, if you think the movie's bad, you were offended by it, I will say that you could sense that they were trying. Like, their story was their priority.
Yes. And when Happy Time Murders, it's not. I don't know how much to hold that against it.
And why would you not hold it against it?
Well,
not that I'm saying you should. I'm just curious why.
Well, because with those movies, hey, that was their priority. That was their agenda was about that. And with Happy Time Murders, maybe they just never set out to make that the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more of something it helps build the world, but also in a story, especially a noir or detective mystery like that, you'll have something such as that just to throw you off. It's more of a distraction to keep you from figuring out what the actual mystery is about.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of what's missing from this is the mood that's in that concept art, because rather than having feeling like it's in its own world, it's very much our world. The sun is shining all the time, and it just doesn't have that same atmosphere that looks so cool.
See, man, exactly. I was in the theater, and I was actually taking notes about the movie because I usually take notes ahead of time. But this movie is bright. You're right, man. You look at the concept art here. You see how moody it is.
Yeah.
How kind of shadowy it is to fit a film noir. This thing looks like a TV show. It looks like while the puppets look good blending in with the puppets look good blending in with the background in this. I will continue to say that is a cool effect. But while the puppets look good blending in with that, the environments themselves look cheap. It really does. And when you put the puppets in there, it looks like a Disney Channel movie gone wrong. Like that's the last time that was the last episode of that show. Cousin Skeeter lost his mind. Cousin Skeet.
like Disney still had the contract on Henson's Empire and said, "You owe us one last movie."
Yes.
And Brian said, "Yeah, all right. I got your one last movie."
It just could have done more. I know they want
because
to make
Roger Rabbit has that going on. I mean, it's a period piece, and it has the muted palette that makes that gives it that. So you buy all this happening in this world.
Yeah. It's like this. It was. I mean, with this movie here, man. I don't know if these because Brian Henson directed this, and I've seen Brian Henson direct things with a really moody atmosphere, but it's almost like they didn't have the budget to shoot at night that much.
Yeah.
Or maybe the effect wasn't working out as well when you put the puppets in too many dark areas. I don't know, man. But
it's hard to say. I mean, I can imagine this not being an easy project to get off the ground, because the movies we compare it to, that puppet porn and Meet the Feebles, there's no Hollywood backing there. No big studio behind any of that.
But I will say that the lighting in this is just flat.
Yeah.
It is like they just lit everything.
Yeah.
And again, I say that because maybe they had to light that bright because there are so many scenes where these puppets, when you have to show them full body, and you have to have a green screen.
Yeah.
And you have to, and they are working with moving green screens.
Right.
Out in real environments. So that's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to put the fault mainly on the movie, but it does show. It's like, wow, man, for a detective film, this is the cheeriest, brightest detective film I've seen, man. And I know it's supposed to be bright and cute puppets, but it still just doesn't. It needs more mood.
It does.
And even with something like, even when we talk about like Meet the Feebles, man, you want to get dirty. Even Meet the Feebles it relished in how dirty it was, how nasty it was. But I mean, they
came back and said, no, put some extra grime on this.
Oh yeah. I mean, this was nasty, and and like I said, they really pushed it to where this whole thing had. I know, and Marlon like. Me, I'm like, damn, that's hot. Boy, I love puppets. But you look at Meet the Feebles, and they really pushed it. So that you remember it. And you got something here where it's kind of like, all right, as much as I'm laughing at this movie, and I don't think it's bad. I do not think it's bad. I already see people who went in. I think they had something against this movie from the very beginning. I don't think it's bad at all, man. It's actually enjoyable. But I will say that it is something that it still feels kind of mediocre to be up on the movie screen.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, man. No offense to to Big Willie style over here, but I do like this better than another cop team up, another odd cop team up.
Especially where one cop is from an oppressed class.
Exactly. I'm talking about Bright, where with Bright you have Will Smith who's teaming up with a orc.
With an orc.
and the orcs are second class citizens, man.
Do not wink at me like that.
You know, and this is a movie that worked with magic in the real world and everything.
Yeah.
And even as ambitious as this movie was, I like Happy Time Murders better.
It had a better script.
It did. It's not even a great script, but it had a better script.
Not a great script, but it had a better script. Just even down to the mystery. It's cliche, and yet it's done in a way that's fun to go through. And yeah, Bright's just too simple for its own good. And too basic. And yeah, it had the lighting, and it had a good director, but ultimately, Happy Time Murders is more entertaining.
I do think it's more entertaining. I mean, for one thing, it's a comedy, so it's intentionally going for laughs, where Bright had unintentional laughs in it. But I bring up Bright as a mixed match cop buddy movie,
sure,
because I feel like this is better than that, but it also is something that would have worked so much better, I think, on Netflix.
I know
this would have been perfect for Netflix.
I know. It's weird because it's a movie I'm watching. I laughed all through it. I was either chuckling or laughing out loud, constantly entertained by it, and yet it just felt small. And not because it was puppets. It was just something about the scale of it that felt small. It's like, can I tell somebody to go to the theater to see this? Because I feel like you're not getting quite what you paid for. But if you watch it at home, you might watch it 2 or 3 times.
If I had seen this on Netflix, I'd be like, yes, this does not belong in a theater, but it is so much fun. That's why I'm giving this a good rental, man. I mean, I would not rush out to see this. I had fun with it, but I would not do it. I would not. To watch this at home would be a really fun thing, especially if you're watching with some friends and you're drinking and whatnot. This would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'd give it a super high rental. And the only thing that keeps me from giving it a matinee is that it just works so well as a movie you watch from home. Because I know there's so many pre-naysayers who are already groaning every time they look at it and shaking their heads. I'm like, you know what? Stop that and just give this movie a chance.
Yeah. I've already seen people just, they look at all the raunchy humor here, and granted, they are pushing it, but people acting like they're above that.
I know.
I'm above these filthy puppets here.
Now, excuse me while I go watch Jackass 4.
You know, and I will say this, man. They actually have puppets in here who are second class citizens, but they got one. They only got one that's black. I only got one that's black, and he looks like a dick. He look like a dick with some eyes on it. They did that brother wrong. And they made him a stereotype. Hey, baby, ain't no humans allowed up in my crib. Oh, well, I'm glad we see eye to eye on that, man. You know, and don't
that's been happening lately.
Please don't put the movie off. Just don't act like you better than this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy. Oh no.
Yeah.
She's made some good movies. Just stop.
Yeah. Do you hear how you sound? You turning your nose up to a puppet. You gonna let this puppet have this power over you? I don't associate with that kind. You're the reason why these puppets are second-class citizens in this movie right here. They're not people to me. Filthy puppets. Get your hand off my penis.
Humans first.